Hi, everyone. My name is Tom Greco, and I'd like to welcome you to today's Foundation webcast series. Today, we're going to be talking about Foundation software and taking a look at job cost accounting in action. I'm one of the senior regional sales representatives over here at Foundation Software. And today, we're just going to dive into the system, talk a little bit about the accounting side, also talk about Project HQ, which is more of on the project management side, go through any area of the software, and then at the end, if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any of those questions. Currently, everybody attending the webinar today is in mute-only mode, so if there are any questions, there would be an area within your GoToMeeting player thing that you would be able to key those questions in, and once we wrap up today's presentation, I'll make sure I go through those questions and get everything answered. And there'll be other areas of the presentation where if we're going to want to set up something a little bit more detailed, or you have additional questions outside of this webinar, I'll make sure everybody has my contact information so that you guys can reach out. So before we jump into the system itself and talk about our different products, I first like to talk about Foundation Software as a company. Foundation Software, our main focus and only focus pretty much since 1985, has been in construction accounting and project management. What's nice about our company is we have, our flagship product, which is Foundation Software, which is designed to replace off-the-shelf accounting systems, as well as we have several other products like project management, which is focused on Project HQ. We also have an integrated payroll service, which is payroll for construction, where we process people's payroll across the nation, and we also have a safety platform called Safety HQ. And from our business, we've been lucky enough to be in this industry since 1985. Seen a lot of software companies come and go, where we've kind of held true to who we are as far as a company where we do not use any dealerships or third parties. We support our own software. We do our own in-house training. And, talking to me today, I'm one of the sales managers here, so we do not outsource sales at all. So it's more of a one company focus that allows you just to work with us throughout the life of Foundation. Next, I wanted to talk to you guys about who uses Foundation. So we work with small, mid-size, large contractors, those that are union contractors, prevailing wage contractors, non-union. So, from our side, we really don't have a size limit to, hey, you're too small or you're too large. With us, in our 7,000 clients nationwide, that number grows each month. It is something that we're very proud of, having been in the industry for so long. And, who our main focus is especially companies that have outgrown their off-the-shelf products. So if you're utilizing like a QuickBooks, and you're kind of finding out that, the job costing side or the certified payroll side or the processing side, it tends to kind of outgrow those systems, and you want to maybe find something that's more geared for your industry. That is definitely something that we do a lot. We work with a lot of clients that convert off QuickBooks, or any other off-the-shelf system. We also work with companies still that, who need to upgrade to a more current technology solution. Maybe they're using an old custom system or an old DOS platform. We tend to still see that now, or something that's no longer going to be supported at the end of the year. Another very common, thing that we come across on the sales side too, so that we work with those types of companies that need, a better, solution that, is something more of current technology, something that's more reliable from that perspective. And since we are a hosted solution, those that want something a little bit more accessible from working from home or other areas. So I would say that's a good rundown of who we are. Now let's talk about how we job cost and how everything flows within the system. I'm going to just jump into one of our reporting tools that I like to use throughout my presentations that really gives you an idea of how we can look at job costing. So how integrated is it? How quickly can I get to it? Can I drill into it? The answer is yes, all of the above. We want the ability for that gap that we see with accounting, talking to job costing, we want to bridge that gap with Foundation. Foundation software is definitely going to be what we call one point of entry software, meaning when I enter data in the accounting system, it is going to be job costed. When payroll goes out the door, it's job costed. When I enter a payable, same thing. So that there is no use or no need for me to do reporting in Excel or taking data from system A to system B and placing it in multiple different areas. We want to really tighten that bottleneck and have the system do what it's programmed to do, and that would be giving you a real-time job costing solution. And we also want to give you those reports or how you would potentially look at job costing in whatever type of layers and levels that you want to look at. It's very easy for us through the dashboard here, which is just a standard piece of foundation software, where I'm able to then drill into my reports and I can see pretty much where all my jobs are at from a high level real time. So a lot of things, talking about some of my experience here, seeing that, with off the shelf systems, a potential thing that is always missing from those styles of software are change orders. So if anybody that's on the call today deals with change orders, as you know, it's very tough to or nearly impossible to have those affect your accounting system if you're using something off the shelf. There's not really a true change order process. Within Foundation, we want to be able to do that, and that can be done either from a back office function or when we talk about our project management suite, Project HQ, I'll highlight some of the areas where you can issue change orders from there as well. So we want to give you multiple avenues to do that, and we also want those to be real-time reports that we can look at, and when we look at a contract or a budget, that those numbers reflect change orders that's current. And then we're always able to see by job where we're at cost-wise or billing-wise. So, hey, what exactly is going on as far as the actual margins or the actual profit on these jobs? By utilizing Foundation's accounting side, when we code payroll, when we code billings, it's all automatically job costed. So there should be no reason if I come in here once a day, twice a day, whenever I need to, once a week, all my jobs are updated in real time. It takes no, extra effort to have information get to these reports. It's just us doing our standard accounting. And from here, if we want to dive into any one of these projects to dig a little bit deeper than just the whole project as a whole, all I need to do is just point and click. So it gives me an ability to use not only just the system's, accounting side, but also the built-in easy to use reports that allows me just to look at one single job. And from a reporting side, I have pretty much everything about this job in one area. So whether we're dealing with looking to analyze every billing, every dollar cost, once again, every change order, or even those that issue subcontracts or purchase orders. Another area that's hard to do in off-the-shelf systems, if we were looking to implement some type of purchase order system or some type of subcontract system, that's typically always done outside of the accounting system as well. So it becomes an issue when we really truly want to look at something called committed cost. In Foundation, we have those avenues. So as we look at job costing in action, we see it all. And from here, I can drill in once again to the next layer. So being able to have a system that not only gives us, whole job numbers, but when I want to get to those details, I can easily get to it. And we do integrate with third-party estimating systems. So if you're using something like OnScreen Takeoff, McCormick Estimating, Edge Estimating, Heavy Bid, Bid to Win, we do integrate with a lot of those third-party estimating systems, which then now gives us a lot more of a detailed look at our job costing. Sometimes, with other off-the-shelf systems, we can't get this level of detail, or we can't get estimating system A to integrate with QuickBooks. So with Foundation, we want to, once again, give you an avenue to get those budgets in here. And now being able to track your job costs in a lot more detail gives you a lot more review of where your jobs are at, not only as a whole, but then where are we at every cost code on that job? What did we estimate for each cost code? What do we have into it? And just as accounting is doing, their data entry and everybody's doing their part, these numbers are all going to be updated real time. I'm also able to then drill into any one of these cost codes, and I get that next layer underneath it. So I'm always able to kind of take a step further, and if I want to drill into all of the detail, it's all right in front of me. There's no need for me to pull separate reports or log out and run a different report. If I look at earthwork here, I can see that we've estimated 66.5 for it. I can see all the different categories underneath it. I can see the estimated hours versus the actual hours. And if I still have more questions, I can always get to the furthest level of detail. So with Foundation, we want to give it to you as much detail as you want, and we always want you to be able to audit those costs all the way down to where they came from and what they cost. So, for example, I just clicked on payroll. It allows me to drill all the way into those payroll time cards that were processed through our payroll module. So we want to give it to you in those levels of detail that allow you to point and click and easily run reports out of the accounting system. No need for Excel, no need for double entry, triple entry, and everything else that might occur with systems that don't really kind of have these levels of job costing. Now, in relation to accounting too, when we're talking about materials here, when we drill into materials, we can see, okay, well, somebody coded these invoices to this job, to earthwork, and they came from AP. If I want to take things a step further from here, I'm always able to drill into the furthest level of detail here as well. So we do offer some document imaging, and it would allow us to then, as we enter accounting transactions in the software, be able to drill all the way into the accounting transaction and a copy of the invoice or a copy of a change order or a copy of somebody's driver's license. It is a system-wide module within document imaging. I would say AP is probably the most popular, but it is going to give us that ability that we only need to upload things once and have people who have access be able to retrieve those and review those. So I always like to start within the dashboard here, talking about just how easy it is to get the job costing out and how integrated it is. If we're looking to analyze, change orders and committed cost, once again, it's just a simple point and click. So if I want to always see where my job started with its original contract and original budget, how many change orders do we have into the Midwest Turnpike job? Where's our contract at today? We never lose sight of where we started and where we're at today. And then we're always able to analyze every single change order that's on a specific job. And those change orders not only just update the job as a whole, but as we were referring back to the detail here, right? So being able to drill into the cost. Those same change orders, I'm able to drill into the specific change order to see how it affected my budget as well. So a lot of what we do job costing wise, it starts from the inception of a project, and we want to track that project throughout. It's big for us to have those easy to drill down reports. We include it with every rollout of Foundation, and we also want some of the things in the system to help us out, on the accounting and job costing side. Now, with the system itself, we want to be able to also do our day-to-day accounting here. So with Foundation, we want to be able to have those drill down reports. We want to be able to allow you to also create your own custom reports through our report designer. And we want to be able to handle all the different layers of job costing in relation to project management and accounting. With the system itself, it's a fully integrated job cost accounting system out of the box. So, with these base modules up top here, it is designed to effectively replace what you're currently using from just a core base accounting system. So we do offer, obviously, accounts payable, accounts receivables, another one that, a lot of systems out there, they only kind of do one style or one standard billing, where within Foundation, I like to say we do every style of billing. So whether it's something that's a lump sum billing, if it's something that's AIA related, you are able to do your AIAs directly out of here, which would also update job cost and accounting. From here, I'm able to set up my cover sheet. I'm able to have my schedule of values in here. I can either bill a line item by a whole dollar value or percent complete. Another thing that a lot of off-the-shelf systems struggle with is being able to calculate retainage. We want to have that in the system. We want to have it in front of us at all times. We don't need to keep it on a separate ledger or a separate spreadsheet. It is something that's right in front of us. And if we looked at, let's say, like an open receivables report, we would see all that retainage. Ultimately, we're able to produce AIAs right out of our accounting system. There's also been some updates to our project management suite, which I'll show you. And in whoever wants to do the AIA, if it's something that you feel is more of like a back office function, as you see on the screen here, you can always create AIAs right out of our core system. And now we've increased the ability on the project management side for if we want project managers to produce the AIAs, maybe not let them update the accounting side, but hey, you can go ahead and update your percent completes. You can do the pencil copy. You can print it as much as you want. I'll show you when we get to the project management side how project managers can also do similar functions like this. Another big thing with job costing is definitely going to be the ability to see exactly what your payroll cost you. So, being able to do those construction specific billings are important. But I always see a lot of companies struggle with, labor related costs, including not only just labor, but when we talk about burden and comp and fringes, to see payroll in action, to see job costing in action, it's also important that, we process our payroll, but then when we need to see what that payroll really cost us, that we're able to see it in whatever level of detail that we want. If we're just looking at just labor hours and labor dollars, that's all information that is easily able to be tracked in here. But I see a lot of people having to do these style reports in Excel too, where I need to separate the FICA, the FUTA, the comp, the fringes. Whereas payroll is allocated in Foundation, it's allocated to the job, and all those accompanying burden-related costs are also being job costed real time. So if I truly want to see what my payroll is costing me by job, I can see that this job is costing me $41. I can go down to this job. This one's costing me $38. So I'm able to kind of get a lot more detail out of my labor reporting than just, hey, this is just raw labor. So we want to be able to track that and see that job cost in action as well. Also, kind of as we talk about labor, it's important that we are able to produce, certified payroll reporting out of here, or union reporting, or minority compliance reporting. That's all just standard stuff that comes out of Foundation. And really, efficiency is going to be kind of key here, where, instead of having to do certified payroll in Excel or outside of our accounting system, now it's an integrated part of our payroll process, where it really minimizes the time and the need and the worry of, being able to do some type of incorrect double entry. We don't have to deal with that anymore. That is just something that comes out of payroll simultaneously once payroll goes out the door. Now, in the accounting side, we also handle, additional modules. So, we talk about job costing as a whole. If anybody on today's presentation deals with equipment or inventory, now you have an ability to have, those types of equipment costs, those types of inventory costs in your accounting system. We don't have to keep separate, once again, spreadsheets. We don't have to guess at what our equipment cost us. Now we have an ability to actually have a true equipment module, whereas we want to record not only labor and materials, if we want to record equipment, we're able to set that equipment up in here and have corresponding job cost rates to those pieces of equipment where, say, for example, we want to record this dozer was used on this job for X amount of hours. We can now do that, and it will automatically update your job costing based on how you set that piece of equipment up. So equipment's going to be something a lot more real time we can track, and it would be the same with inventory. Being able to have a purchase order system where we can issue purchase orders, we can receive inventory so that we can, recognize those material expenses a little quicker than just waiting for the AP invoice. We also can go as far as, having the ability for us to have like a true warehouse tracking system where, if I have stock inventory, typically sits, as an asset, but, I want to reflect that it was used on a specific job, so that then we can come in and actually record the job costing side of that inventory, saying that, we use this type of item, we used 4 of them, so it would then be able to adjust your general ledger, increase your job costing, so we can have more of a true detail of our materials, just, in detail with different inventory items. We also do work with companies that, if they're a company that does both contract work and service work, we talk job costing. It's definitely, a lot of people that their main focus is going to be jobs and jobs. But I don't want you to think that we're limited just to contract style contractors, but we also do work with service related contractors where we can do job costing on that end as well. We have mobile products that integrate with both payroll, for related to a specific job. So if I want the field employees to record their time, have that pull into payroll for us, aside from, entering in manual time cards, there is a products that would integrate both with jobs and job costing for payroll. And then we also have, another mobile related product that would integrate with the service side. When we talk about job costing in action, we want those accounting functions to, like, as we've kind of been jumping around, see how they're integrated with the system itself and the job costing and the real timeness. And we also want the ability for those that need not only just accounting and job costing, but project management. We want the ability for project managers to be able to do exactly what they need to do too. And that could be a bulk of items here. It could be, things that we want to do as far as creating RFIs and submittals. The nice thing about Project HQ is we don't have to worry about project managers being in the accounting system, and project managers don't have to worry about being in the accounting system either. So accounting folks can be where they need to be, and we don't run the risk of PMs being somewhere that they shouldn't be. So it allows them to still update foundation in certain areas, but it allows them to do a lot more that would be something that, be more geared for what they want to do. All the jobs that we create in foundation have an ability to automatically flow into here. It's not something that we have to do multiple things multiple times. When we set up a job, that job's going to be available to that specific project manager. They're going to be able to come in and do everything that they need to do for a specific job. Whether it be something on the daily log side of being able to enter in daily logs for a specific job, produce a daily log report, those things can all be produced from Project HQ. The nice thing about Project HQ as well is that it's browser based. So if they're using a tablet or a smartphone, they can do all their job costing functions in here too, without having to actually be tied to a specific computer. In addition to just daily log reporting, they're going to have the ability to then issue change orders or requests for changes. So if we want that process to be kind of more in their hands, where, if we're looking to run over under billing or work in progress, and as you know, change orders are definitely going to be part of that. So we need their ability for them to do what they need to do on their side of the fence, while also allowing the accounting system to reflect those change orders they've created. Request for changes, is something that they can issue, like a PCO or request for change that then can be converted into a change order. So they don't have to do double entry on that part. And any change orders, purchase orders, subcontracts, all those functions that we want to do in here, they all have an ability to push to foundation. So we don't run the risk of product A not being able to talk to product B. This is our product, so we've designed them to talk to each other. So if we want to be able to kind of have project managers still do what they need to do and allow us to pull that stuff in, it is something they can push directly from Project HQ to Foundation. Now, Project HQ's core system also has purchase orders and subcontracts, stuff that we've kind of touched on a little bit. But if we don't want accounting folks to enter those in, that's once again more of a project management function. They can issue their purchase orders and subcontracts directly out of here too. There's an excellent form designer in here. So if you have a lengthy subcontract that is maybe 14 pages of legal jargon, it's not something you'd have to recreate if you went our route. It is something that we could either potentially upload or create with you during our implementation. But once again, it still allows us to create what we need to do when it comes to creating a subcontract, having that being coded to a specific job, reflecting those committed cost reports, and once again, ultimately being able to push that subcontract back to Foundation. So if AP invoices come in, AP has all those subcontracts in there so that they can match them up pretty easily. They're already coded, so it doesn't take a lot of effort to invoice against a subcontract that's been created here. Now, RFIs, submittals, All that stuff is also be able to be created out of Project HQ. So when we talk job costing, it's good to talk about cost, but also all those other documents that might come along with the job as the job progresses, like an RFI, like a submittal. Within Project HQ, those functions are there too as well, where we can produce those RFIs, track the correspondence, produce submittal logs, RFI logs. All that information would be within here too, and really it gives the PM a central area to work in where they can do all they need to do out of Project HQ. Now, one of the new features that we're pretty excited about is the ability for PMs to now be involved a little bit more in the AIA process. In the past, it's been strictly just an accounting function. Whoever goes in to enter AIAs, that's the only person that can do it. We wanted to expand on that as, the need came where, we want project managers to be able to maybe to do some of the stuff, but not make it official in the accounting side. So we did some programming on our end, and we created the ability for PMs to be able to come in and create their own AIAs directly out of here. From here, they're able to come in and have their signature area filled in. Little unique part about AIAs too is you'd be able to come in and create custom rules as it relates to retainage. So, a common rule would be, hey, what happens when, per our contract, if we bill 50% on a line item or 50% on the job as a whole, it should drop to 5% or 0%. Now you can build those custom retainage rules in here. So it just automatically does it as the individual will put in their percent complete or their dollar value. In the system too, they can build their schedule values in here. They're able to print their schedule values directly out of here. So it's giving them the ability to do everything that they need to do where, when I click on that edit area here, it's going to drop in the specific job. It's going to drop in all the line items on that job. And if I need to print that AIA, I can see all the different pay applications, application 1 through 10. It's all going to be something that, as the information populates in here, they would be able to see it. In addition to the AIAs here, let me just pop back in here real quick. If I want to print this AIA, if I want to update it, I can update it. Everything will live in here so that when they're performing everything that they need, it's all right here. And as the job progresses, they see it, and you're able to push that to accounting as well in Foundation. Being able to track our emails in one area. If I pop into this job here, I can see everything in relation to all emails, specific action items, change orders, purchase orders. It gives me one central area again to be able to track all those emails and be able to kind of keep up with the correspondence so nothing falls behind. Now, when it comes to also, job costing in action, the first area we talked about was the drill downs. And, there was a common struggle where, hey, what happens if I don't want my project managers again to have to go into the accounting system? Is there a way for them to go into Project HQ and be able to see their reports there? So we wanted an ability that when they need their reports, whether once again they're on a smartphone or tablet or on the job site or at home, we took a lot of those pieces of the executive dashboard and moved them to a mobile environment within Executive HQ, where we want to give them the same level of drill downs and capabilities that the back office could potentially give them. So giving them an ability just to look at their jobs, be able to see, all that information, whether it be gross margins, billings, cost, profit. And from here, I can select a specific job that I want to drill into that job, and still get that same estimate versus actual. It's nice too because now all the change orders are right in front of them. All their over/under billing is right in front of them. And once again, anything highlighted in blue, it's meant to be drilled into. So if I want to drill into costs, I just point click. And the same level of drill down detail that we see in the back office, they can see in the field as well. So I wanted to wrap up with Executive HQ here and, kind of sticking with that same premise of job cost in action. Kind of started with the accounting system, talked a little about the different flow there, moved into project management. So now what I want to do is open it up for any questions. So within the GoToMeeting player, there would be an area that you can key those questions in. And then from there, I'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. All right, our first question is this webinar going to be recorded and sent out to all attendees? Yes. So anytime we do a webinar here, they're all going to be published to our website, with not our website, but our YouTube channel. And then all attendees would be able to see a copy of that webinar. And obviously, if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Or, anybody that's really, truly looking to kind of learn a little bit more about Foundation that, if you want to set up a personalized demonstration, my contact information here is on the screen. I would be more than happy to dig in further. It's tough to do these webinars without having to, show all the system. So we kind of highlight some certain things, and, for those that want to take it a step further and actually do a one-on-one demonstration, feel free, reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. Next question, how long would a demonstration take? Demonstration, I would say on average takes around hour and a half, in which I can go through all the counting screens, reporting, in a lot more detail than today's presentation. Next question, is there an app for the guys in the field to upload receipts that are tied to specific jobs? Yeah, within Foundation Mobile, it is mainly designed for capturing time cards. So being able to have employees in the field code their time, job cost their time, so that we're able to import that time in the payroll for processing. There's also an expense feature of Foundation Mobile where they could upload receipts, but in my opinion, it's more geared for reimbursables, more so than just, hey, this should be a material expense. So we could do mileage, material reimbursements, parking reimbursements, where in that function, they could upload a receipt and it would be tied to the job. I'm going to leave the questions open just for another minute or two. And obviously, if there's more after this, feel free. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. How would the app affect the payroll if we were to use it for expenses instead of reimbursements? I think the issue would be if you entered it to payroll, it's going to assume that you want to pay them those expenses. So the only thing I could think of that potentially work would be if you enter those expenses in payroll and they were reviewed, and then the only issue would be somebody would have to take those expenses and I guess enter them into payables, or have a way of getting them into payables to represent like materials and not so much labor. It would affect the payroll because it would assume that you're trying to pay them those reimbursements. I'd like to thank everybody for attending today. If you have any questions or you need anything from me whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. Once again, my name is Tom Greco. I would like to thank everybody for attending. Everybody stay safe, and thank you again. Have a wonderful day.